This is an 8-year-long smoldering conflict in which peace agreements have been routinely violated by both sides. It concerns a country in which Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Mitt Romney have direct financial interest. A country which government only exists because of the Obama State Department helped to overthrow the previous regime. The ugly truth is that America is in no shape to throw herself into another foreign conflict.
Okay, so already from Congresswoman Marjorie Greene, you can hear a combination of conspiracy theories about Hunter Biden and Joe Biden owning businesses in Ukraine or whatever, as well as a number of just straight out Russian talking points. Pretending as if this invasion it's not anything new. It's just a part of a long-standing conflict. It's not one of the most unprecedented illegal invasions of a sovereign state in literally decades or anything like that. So she's just spreading conspiracy theories and Putin talking points, but that by itself would be very much par for the course. We expect that out of Congresswoman Marjorie Greene. But take a look at this next video and see what she then calls for Ukraine to do.
If we truly care about suffering and death on our television screens, we cannot fund more of it by sending money and weaponry to Ukraine to fight a war they cannot possibly win. The only effect of more arms and more money from America will be to prolong the war and magnify human suffering. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be responsible for creating even more refugees and orphans in an already traumatized and dysfunctional world.
Okay, so she has learned enough about the response to this war to know that she is supposed to pretend that she cares about human suffering, that she cares about the civilians being killed, the needless loss of life of the soldiers, and the refugees that are being created. But she is saying they can't possibly win. She is saying we shouldn't help them and they shouldn't try, Francesca.
I mean, truly it is insane to hear, as you said, Kremlin talking points coming out of right wingers in the United States. And again, this is like, tell me you're being funded by Putin without telling me you're being funded by Putin. I don't want to hear any more I've got Russiagate syndrome BS after this. Are you kidding me? Are we not supposed to listen and see and witness what the hell is going on? We're supposed to ignore all of the ties between the GOP and Russian oligarchs? We're supposed to ignore like the amount of collusion, the dark money that was funneled through the NRA. Like, do we have to go back? Manafort sending the voting rolls. Hello, but that's past history. This is present, and you've got Marjorie Taylor Greene saying this kind of crap that, again, this is like a Putin meme that he can no longer like spread throughout Facebook or whatever, but he doesn't need to. And the stuff that like really bothers me is the State Department funded like government of Ukraine, like the US State Department, like, cause you know what that feels like? It feels like some really bad leftist take, anti-imperialist in heavy quotations take that you'd see on the left, now being parroted by the right. Dude, we're talking about Yanukovych, right? This is Putin's guy who was president of Ukraine, won under shady pretenses, spawned an incredible movement called the Orange Revolution in response to his illegitimate presidency, right? And the Orange Revolution was not a product of the State Department in the United States. It was not a product of NATO and the EU. That's what Putin wants you to believe. And so believing that is taking away agency from all Ukrainians to decide their future, which, by the way, up until this point, they weren't like 150% NATO or 150% EU. There was a plethora, a differentiation of opinion within the country. So anyway, that's the stuff that chills me more than anything else, is to see the way that like these BS talking points from like bad leftists and the BS talking points from the right are coalescing. And honestly, are they all being paid by the same people? I don't know.
Yeah, look, I don't think that there has to be any direct payment or whatever. I think that ideologically they think that pushing the same exact talking points can benefit them, and financially, not directly financially. But I think that there are definitely financial benefits to be had. Look, for her, she's pretending she doesn't want us to send these weapons. She literally invested in Raytheon and Lockheed immediately prior to the contracts being signed. I mean, so again, I don't even buy that she's being honest there. I think that all of these personalities on the right, whether they're in media and politics, and I am starting to believe that it makes no difference which side of this you're on. It's effectively the same thing. They do and say the same things. They are all trying to figure out, what line do we take to not seem like the cold-hearted bastards that we are, and find a way to attack the left or Joe Biden over the tragedy that Putin has instigated. And they come at it in different directions, but she thinks she's found her way. Very briefly, I want to go to
John, hang on, really, I want to push back. You think she's smart enough to say something like the State Department funded Ukrainian government?
No, I think she's dumb enough to believe things that she read on some right-wing website or something, because these are not even sophisticated versions of those talking points. It's like the most base level, delivered poorly. She's not even good at reading the teleprompter propaganda that was put in front of her there.
No, it's true. It's true.
Anyway, I hope that she is not influential on this, because as terrible as all of what's going on is, at the very least, our government has figured out a way to try to give the Ukrainian people the best chance of not just being absorbed into Russia without drawing us into an all-out war that could turn nuclear at a second's notice. And that should be the goal. Her wanting them to surrender, and then she goes on to say, we're not gonna play the video. She pretends that then they just turn to diplomacy. Like I wish that we could just instantly have a diplomatic solution right now. But Russia is not going to, if you just give them the country and then say, okay, now let's debate, you just give it back to us. That's not how that actually works. The only way that Putin is going to allow for some sort of withdrawal is if the invasion is hurting him, if it's costing him economically and militarily. There's no guarantee that even that will work, but that is the only plausible path to anything like Ukrainian independence coming out of this. I don't know if she's smart enough to know that, but I hope that nobody is dumb enough to listen to her. Anyway, that's enough of her. We got other important stuff to talk about. God, get her out of Congress, people.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.